So the purpose of this video is to help you to understand what are the components that set up an organization and when and how we should address those components in order to resolve those issues. The reason that I'm recording this video is because when I'm meeting with other people, when we discuss how they're making changes to organization, how they perceive organization, people more often focus on the wrong area. They focus on the symptoms instead of focusing on the cause. And I think that's because of kind of lack of a little bit of education. So this video is all about that. I hope that after this video you have good understanding how organizations are working and where you need to go and introduce a change in order to fix it, while understanding the complication that associate with each and every element that you may and you may not change. It's your decision. So I think the first thing, the core, if you're talking about physics, the most smallest area in organization that it's very hard to change is management system. So organization will always have the management system as a core for the operation. Now this management system will be set up by founders. It was set up usually in the beginning of the organization, when the organization is emerged. And as you know, there are different or many types of organization structures, organization systems. It could be very command and control. It could be completely self-managed. On this scale, there are plenty of options that someone or somebody would choose as the management system. And once they will put up this system, it's very rare to change it. This is a core basic assumptions on how organizations are working. Set up usually when organization started, and it's very hard to change it. The next layer, it will be organization structure. And the org structure is usually or always as a result of the management system. So if we decide to use a command and control system, we're probably going to end up with much more hierarchical organization structure. If we decided to move towards more self-managed organization, you see more flat organization structure in place. But one way or another, the type of the organization structure that an organization is going to use is a direct result of the management system that the founders, usually of the organization, put in place. Very hard to change it. Now, on top of the organization structure, we have people. So we hire people, but as you all know, we hire people to fit an organization structure and to fit a management system. And the organization has very sophisticated filters to hire the right people. And even if you didn't hire the right people to operate perfectly in certain management system and in certain organization structure, it has very great mechanism to filter and push away every element within the system that does not conform with organization structure and management system. And therefore, I put the people as another circle, because both the management system that push the organization structure and the organization structure have a huge impact on the people that are going to be part of an organization. And last but not least, the next layer will be culture. So culture is a result of people, and as a result of management system and organization structure. Culture are certain assumptions and agreement how an organization, how a group of people are going to operate. And they are deeply influenced by the management system and by the organizational structure and by the people, mainly the people. But as I mentioned before, people are filtered very efficiently to be people that fit the management system and the organizational structure. And therefore, those two have significant impact on people and as a result, significant impact on culture. So those are the main element, if you ask me, that when you're looking at an organization, when you want to change an organization, you need to take care of. You need to think about the management system, the organizational structure, the people, and the culture. And the direction is always that way. There is no arrow that goes that way. It does not exist. Just that way. Because management system influence organization structure, and those two filter people, and those two and the people impact the culture. By the way, culture is nothing. It's actually a shadow. So if you project something on the wall, what you see is a shadow, and a culture is actually a shadow of the people, the organization structure, and the management system. And to be more precise, it will be the organization structure, because the organization structure is a matter. So how we are structured the organization, how we are building, in which way we build it. If we project it on the wall, this is what we are going to see on the wall. So the organization structure create or define the shadow that will be on the wall. And other aspect that will define the shadow on the wall will be the light. The angle of the light, how strong the light is, and the light is actually people. So both organization structure and people actually create the culture. But culture is on the matter, is nothing. It's just a projection, a shadow of something on the wall. So once you understand that, you need to understand that there are two more layers that are interesting, very important to understand. Around an organization, there is an environment. And the environment always influences the system. So there will be changes in the environment, business changes, new competitors, new market, anything, new laws and regulations. All of those impacting an organization. And organization needs to react to those impacts, or maybe this one, that impacting the organization. And this interaction between the environment and the organization will happen here, in this twilight zone. Now, what makes an organization ready to deal with those events is what happened inside an organization. Now, this model is pretty important, because what you hear very often is people will complain that the organization failed to deal with the environment because, first of all, it will be, oh, the culture of the organization really sucks. Then it will be, oh, I have the wrong people, that's the reason why we didn't manage to react or respond to the event that comes from the environment. Very, very, very rarely you'll hear, oh, it's the organization structure. But you hear it, and then you see continuous organization structure happening all the time, or restructuring. And almost nowhere or nothing, or almost, it's very, I won't say even rare. It's simply, I never heard someone just saying, okay, it's all, I have a problem here on the boundaries between the environment and organization. I fail to react to the environment because of my management system. Very, very, very rare to hear it. But in reality, as we saw, management system impact organization structure. Organization structure impact people. People impact culture. And all of those create failure here. Now the problem is that management system set up when the company was founded. And when the company was founded, this particular management system was a perfect fit for the organization environment in that particular point of time. But as the company moved forward and it takes 5 years, 10 years, then all of a sudden this management system is not a fit anymore for the environment. But there is so much delay between the cause, the management system, to the current change in the environment that it's very, very, very hard for people to understand that the problem is here. They will try to find the problems in layers that are much more closer to the event that happened here. So that's the reason why you hear so often, oh, it's a company culture, the culture sucks. That's the reason why they can't deal with this problem. Because this is the most close circle to the incident that happened. And then you hear people, oh, they have the wrong people. Why? Because this is the second layer. And then you hear about organizational structure, because this is the third layer. But it's very, very rare, almost never happen, that you hear that the problem is the management system. But in reality, this is the core. Let's take another color. This is the core of all the issues or the problems that you have within your organization from change perspective. If you want to influence, if you want to resolve the issue for the core, if you want to go to the cause and fix it, you have to change the management system. But changing the management system is the most hard thing to do. So people shy away from that. Then it's easier to do organization structure change. And we all experience reorgs that happen again. And they will happen again. Why? Because they never solve any issue. They just solve the symptom. The issue is still in the management system layer. And as long as you won't resolve that, none of the organizational reorg will actually do something. They're just dealing with the symptoms. They are not resolving the cause. And the same applies to people. I can go all day long and say, oh, I have the wrong people, I have the wrong talent, I need to replace the people, I need. And yet, I have the same issue again and again. I'm struggling with, let's say, customer support. So I'm doing reorg, it doesn't help. I'm replacing people, it doesn't help. I'm trying to, the most paradoxical one, I'm trying to change the culture. Like, doesn't even make any sense. You can't change the culture. All you can do is change people, organization, structure, and management system in order to change the culture. Because as we mentioned before, the culture is just a shadow. You can't change the shadow. If you want to change the shadow, you need to create the structure, which is the organization structure that's responsible for the shadow, and the light, which are the people that are responsible for the shadow as well. So focusing on culture simply doesn't make any change, although it's the most obvious thing that people will try to address. Oh, culture sucks, let's fix the culture. Then focusing on people, it's a waste of time as well, because it doesn't matter what you're going to do with people. As long as it didn't change the management system, as long as it didn't change the organizational structure, you are keeping the same core that will filter people again to what those two expect to get. And as long as we are getting people that conform with the same management system and conform with the same organizational structure, there won't be any change. changing the organizational structure make a little bit more sense, but again, it resolves a symptom. So it will solve the problem for a while, and then whoops, it will drop again. Why? Because we didn't solve any cause. We didn't fix the cause. We didn't resolve it. We just dealt with the symptom. So the trick is how to change the management system, which is the most harder thing to do. So that's all for today. I hope that you managed to understand how management system, organizational structure, people, culture interact with the environment, how events that the environment enforce on an organization, when they are failed, tend to be blamed first of all on culture, and then on people, and then on organization structure, but never on management system, which is actually the root cause of everything that the organization is doing. This is what drives everything around the organization. So I hope that it helps. I hope that you managed to realize why changing management system is so crucial, and I hope that you will have the guts to go and try to do a management system change in order to resolve your issues. That's all. Thank you for your time.